Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for the absolutely last episode of the television show Pose. I'm very, very sad about it. I really am, y'all. So let me go ahead and get into it and go ahead and just get it done because I don't even want to go there. Okay, y'all. So the beginning of the episode come on and there's a knock at Blanca's door and it's Prey Tale's mama. So y'all already know that, we are basically to infer that the funeral has happened and all that good stuff or whatever. But his mama came and, Blanca never met her. And she asked her if she could come in and she talked to her and she was just like, look, I am shamed and I might have given birth to him, but you were his mama. Blanca was just like Blanca was just done. Like it's already bad enough everything that has been going on for you to say that. Like, girl, but yeah, his own mama said that Blanca was his mama. I was like, wow. But anyway, she came there and she wanted to see her and to thank her for being who she is and was to her son and to ask her a favor. Now, y'all know that his aunt was given strict instructions on how to carry out his burial and everything surrounding his death. Gave her the will, all that stuff. Gave him, I mean, she gave, he was given, he gave her, his living will and all this other stuff while he was of sound mind and body. And despite what Prey Tale specifically wanted, his mama practically had to beg her to get, his ashes. So she has half of Prey Tale's ashes at her house, and she brought the other half. Now, if you remember in the previous episodes, he specifically said that he wanted his ashes to go and into these different little lockets and given to a wide range of people or whatever. And then the rest can be scattered wherever they want to put them or whatever. And, her sister, bent to her will. He was like, I guess she felt like, well, yeah, it was your son and you finally saw him before he died. Saw him meaning understand that he is who he is. He was going to live his life. He lived in his truth and he lived out loud. So anyway, she ended up telling her what her task was and asking her if she could help her to do this task and presented her with a personally made locket that was made by Prey Tale. That was going to be her special locket that had some of his ashes in it. But she asked her if she would help her to do those lockets for everybody and, do whatever else she wants to do with the remaining of the remainder of the ashes, right? Cool. Blanca cried and told her that, because his mama was about to just go ahead and get up and go, just spend a couple of minutes with her and leave. She was just like, wait, I can't spend any more minutes with Prey Tale, but I'm grateful for the few minutes that I've been able to spend with you. I'm glad that I've been able to spend them with you or whatever. So they actually held one another and they were hugging and crying and all that. It was pretty good. It was good. Hopefully they, even though this is a TV show and it's over, hopefully they decided to keep in touch after that. But y'all know it's a TV show yet again. So anyway, y'all, they're holding a meeting and it's somewhat of a precursor to a protest, and people have gathered like they have in the past. Remember in the past, Nurse Judy introduced them to what she liked doing, because she really is like down for the cause. So this was one of those situations. So they want to try to see what is going on and what they're going to do. And so apparently the way that this has been going on, they call it the Lazarus effect, where all this stuff is going on and now all of a sudden you can raise from the dead as if nothing was going on with you. And y'all know that Big Pharma is behind a lot of this stuff. And so it's all about money. Every single time it's all about money. So one of the things that was put out there is, I think that this will be something awesome that we can do. What if we take the ashes of our loved ones who have died because Big Pharma wanted to do what they wanted to do instead of just allowing people to have a chance at life. How about we take their ashes and scatter them on the mayor's lawn? Blanca looked like, what? Like she really was looking kind of mortified in that moment. I was like, girl, wait a minute. So, yeah, almost everybody is here for that. And it was this one woman who stood up and was like, my son died 2 days ago, and he told me that he wanted his body to be sat in front of the pharmaceuticals doorstep or something like that. I was like, wait a minute, you done went off. The FDA wanted to be his body to just be laid in front of the FDA's doorstep. I was like, oh my gosh, your son went all the way off. Woo, child. So anyway, Blanca ended up giving out the lockets to everybody and even gave Elektra one despite the instructions, and then said that, pray tell, I'm pretty sure he was joking, but, his instructions said not to give you one, but I know he was probably joking. And I mean, she didn't have no issues with it. She didn't say nothing snide or whatever. So I'm glad that she was woman enough not to say nothing. But anyway, pray tell, he left nice little messages about everybody. He said that Lulu always made him laugh, even when he felt a certain type of way. He loved the fact that she could, bring laughter to his life and all this other stuff. When it came to, wait a minute, I'm trying to see. Oh, he was happy about, what he was able to see when Angel and Esteban got married, because he never thought that he would be able to see something like that. Y'all, and even the council was there, and y'all already knew they was gonna get some lockets too. Y'all know the other guys, like I like to call them the MCs, the council, they were there. And y'all know that one of the dudes that's a part of the council, he was the one that pray tell made get up out the bed and go to the ball that day. And he was going all the way through and just stay in his bed. Like, that man's going all the way through, going blind and can't hardly move. And oh Lord. And for him to still be alive and barely hanging on. And I'm like, ooh, y'all. As soon as I saw him, it brought back the memories of that. But that was a powerful episode too, y'all. But anyway, like, he had nice words to say about everybody. I was just like, oh, that's so sweet. Y'all. So, they ended up having a protest. And all throughout the streets, all you could hear were people screaming, act up, fight back, fight AIDS. And they marched up to the mayor's house, and people started to scatter ashes of their loved ones who passed away because they, had AIDS or HIV. And it was just a mess, y'all. It was a mess. They eventually kind of basically broke the gate and got in, and they had police officers coming in trying to regulate. Some people had a die-in. And if you don't know what a die-in is, it's basically where you lay on the ground as if you are deceased, and it is your way of protesting. Because you don't want to be moved, and you don't plan to be moved until people actually understand your plight. But yeah, it was a lot. And the woman who said that her son died 2 days ago, this woman had people to bring her son's body in and laid it down on the ground. His body was like wrapped in a sheet. I was like, wait a minute. You done went all the way off. You have went entirely off. Like, everybody was tired in their spirit for real. Because they really want to be able to send a message. And, you got to start working your way up the ladder. So, it is what it is, y'all. So, they have their moments where they've shown Pray Tell's banner / part of his quilt. And it says 1945 through 1996. And his slogan that he always says, and y'all, I'm just tired. I can't. So after all of this stuff has happened, everybody went to the gay men's chorus, and I think it was the event that they were talking about before. And they have these events all the time. And people really do love to have them come and sing despite their sexual orientation, because they really do be singing down. So anyway, Ricky is still a part of it. And it helps to, I really feel like it's something that has helped him to cope as well. And he basically adapted what Pray Tell told him, helped him to get through his dark times. So yeah, the performance that they did that day, every single person's back was turned, and it was just, I was just like, wow. Like I felt something all over me when they did that. I was like, wow. So y'all, fast forward, it's 1998, and Blanca and her man are celebrating the fact that they've been together for 4 years, and she just officially became a nurse, y'all. She finished nursing school. She got a new job, and she does not work at that hospital anymore. She works at another hospital. And apparently, that hospital is called St. Vincent. See, I'm not from New York or anywhere in the five boroughs or any of that, so I don't even know where it is. I think it actually is based off of a real hospital, but yeah. So apparently, it's definitely an upgrade from where she was at. Y'all, Judy's in her feelings because she left, but she was talking to her boyfriend. Of course, she visits from time to time, and so he was like, well, you know, she misses you, and she's on the fourth floor, but she is working in a different capacity now. Well, she went to go and visit her, and now she's found her happy place in being around babies. And I was just like, oh, that's awesome. Babies are everything. And like she was saying, the typical thing that a lot of people say is that babies smell really, really good. And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't be understanding. I mean, I get it. I know the baby smell, but it don't make me just be like, ooh, or whatever. But yeah, y'all. So they were having a conversation, and she was like, well, you know, the place looks amazing now since they finally decided to slap a coat of paint on these dirty, nasty walls. And so she was like, yeah, the place looks better, and they actually have like new equipment. They had a lot of new stuff. They've updated a whole lot of stuff. And so they was like, well, Nurse Judy was like, well, they've decided to update stuff because they say they have the money now because they don't have this large influx of AIDS patients anymore. We very rarely have anybody coming in anymore because the medicine that they've been having to go out and allowing people to get, it actually works. So I was like, wow. So anyway, now Blanca's at her new job, and a trans woman comes in and she has to deliver the news that she is HIV positive. Well, the person is in her feelings, and she's talking to her, and she was like, you know, have you worked the peers? And she was like, yeah. She was like, oh, I know. I understand that. Myself, I've done that. I'm HIV positive myself. Been HIV positive for 7 years. And so she's looking at her like, you have HIV? And so she was like, yeah, I'm living that life, and I am fine. You will be fine. Like, she's really trying to give her hope and help her to understand. And she let her know there is all sorts of medicine that's out there that really works. And so she's like, well, I can't afford all that. Like, how will I be able to get it? And so she was like, look, you're going to fill out this information right here. And based on your income, you might be able to be eligible for the AIDS Drug Assistance Program. And she actually gave her the address to where the balls are held. She didn't tell her what it was, but she told her to just come over there later on tonight. So it was up to her whether or not she was going to show up or not. And she was like, it's a place where she was able to find her community and her hope. So y'all, the ladies, y'all know, Angel, Elektra, Blanca, and Lulu, they are all having like a little lunch date, and they're just doing their normal catching up and all this other stuff. And y'all know this was around the time where Sex in the City was everything to everybody, and so everybody talking about it. Elektra ain't really trying to hear about it. She was like, girl, I'm not finna let white women dictate what I'm gonna eat and drink, because the waiter came over and was like, let me guess, you want cosmopolitans. And so I don't think Elektra knew exactly that was why he asked that. But Lulu let her know that that's the drink that they normally get and all this other stuff. She was like, nah, I don't want that. And then she told her what she wanted, and then said, bring however many more for the other ladies. So anyway, they're in the middle of talking. Lulu is working a legit job. Angel is the proud mother of the child, and he's going like to the 3rd grade or something like that. And like, she is speaking 100% differently than she did when she left. I was about to say the nickname. When she left Esteban high and dry, when he is everything. I just can't. There are people who won't somebody who is a fourth of the man that he is, but you over here leaving him all because he has a child that he didn't even know existed, and he just found out about it, and he wants to actually raise it so that he'll know what a good man is, and the fact that he is going to be a father, and if he's going to be the daddy, and if he is the daddy, why wouldn't he want to raise his own child? And the way that Poppy is, I would have been shocked if he didn't want to raise his own child. Like, you should have been like, girl, what's wrong with you? Why would you sit up here and say you don't want to take care of your own child? And the mama's deceased, girl. Everything that happened in that moment should have been a 100% wake up call for her, because apparently, like old boy's ex girlfriend's best friend said, "Oh, you have a type." So apparently, Angel and the ex looked similar or whatever, and they both had the habit, and she never got off of it fully, and it ended up taking her out of here. So it's like, girl, all of that should have been a wake-up call for you, but okay. But yeah, I just have to say this. The wig that Elektra had on, it had like a gray streak in it. I was here for it. The wig was nice. So she talking about, everything that she did before when it was the sex phone situation. It was very, very lucrative. But now the way things go, you can stream and, have people, and you actually see them instead of just hearing their voice. And like, I'm just like, girl, you doing a whole lot. But she is still very much so rich. Very, very rich. Y'all, and so everybody is basically giving life updates, and Blanca was like, y'all, Damon sent me a letter in the mail. He's doing really, really well. He met this dude, and the dude, he's living with some man who owns several studios, and he is teaching at one of the studios or whatever and all this other stuff, and he's really, really happy. And I'm like, oh, okay. Y'all see how they have to keep making up stuff because he's not in the show anymore. But it didn't matter because this season was over anyway. Well, the show's not coming back, so it really didn't matter. But they ended up having, at the end of it all, a toast to happy moments. And I thought that was awesome. So they was about to leave, and so Blanca was like, well, I got to get ready for a ball. I got some new kids. And so Elektra's like, why are you still indulging in this? Like, that place ain't got no air conditioning and all. Like, she really is bringing all this stuff up. And I'm like, girl, you know where you came from. Why are you trying to act like you don't know what it's hidden for? Stop. So anyway, everybody tried to play it off like they're not going to show up. I ain't got time and all this other stuff. But she was like, well, forget all y'all. I'm going to still go. So she's going to go home and start getting ready for the ball. Well, they ended up playing the Deborah Cox song that everybody knows. If you don't know no other Deborah Cox song, you know, how did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. But the version that they played is the version that, I don't know if y'all know it or not, but it's like kind of like a disco version, if I'm not mistaken. The people set it off for that song, and that has actually kept her afloat and then some. Like, overseas, everywhere but the United States, everybody lives for her, and she has been able to tour. And you would have probably thought that she was somewhat of a one-hit wonder, but no. That song has kept her afloat and then some over the years. Look it up, I'm trying to tell you. I was very shocked when I found out about it years upon years ago, but yeah. And yeah, I didn't know it was all like that because I lived for the song. I loved the video. I used to watch it, got in my feelings when I watched it. But I didn't know that everybody abroad, everywhere but the United States, set it off for her and still set it off for her. But yeah, but they were playing that version of the song, which was like the disco version or whatever it is. And I was like, okay, then, well, y'all set it off. I'm here for it. Ricky, because as we've time jumped, Ricky is now the father of the house of Evangelista. Now, I don't know how many of y'all watch Legendary, but yeah, I'm here for that. I watch that. I watch a whole lot of stuff that I don't do recap reviews on, y'all. I'm talking about a whole lot of stuff. Like, I can have so much content, but yeah, I've been getting my entire life, and I'm gonna go back to what I want to say because it's still gonna tie into Legendary, but I live for Legendary. Meg Thee Stallion is a regular judge on there. They have Law Roach, Jamil, um, Laomi is on there, and they always have like a rotating person on there. They've had the guy who was on P Valley on there. They had Adam Lambert on there. Like they had a whole lot of well known people on there. Tyrese's brother, Tyson Beckford. But yeah, they have a whole lot of people on there who are well known. And the person, I think her name is Dominique in real life, who plays Elektra, was on there. And I'm about to get to that in a minute. So I love the fact that Ricky is now a house father. And he is actually at the ball, and Blanca's at the ball, and she's trying to whip the new children into shape. And it's crazy. Like, it is really crazy. So he's giving them motivation. She's giving them motivation, and she sees herself as their grandmother, and it is what it is. So everybody is actually now doing what they're supposed to do in their different categories in the ballroom scene, and his house ends up winning. They got 10s across the board, and they end up doing an award, and Elektra ended up showing up and being the person to present the award. People were very stunned to see her. They were very happy to see her. She had this speech that she belted out, and she said it. And of course, the person who won was Blanca. So Blanca came up there and got her stuff, and she bestowed legendary status on Blanca. It was what it was. Everyone actually ended up showing up. Everybody who said they weren't gonna have time and I'm gonna be with my child, I'm gonna do this, like all of her children except for Damon, of course. Everybody showed up, y'all. So back to legendary. Dominique, I think is what her name is in real life, aka Elektra. She was a guest judge on one of the episodes, y'all. When I tell y'all, her being on that show put a bad taste in my mouth. If I had never seen her on this show, I would never live for her. I would be like, who is this person and why? Like, she really, just in case y'all want to see it, I'm not even gonna spoil y'all. I'm ready to go get me some water, go to sleep. Y'all, I'm supposed to be asleep. Like, it's just a lot. I'm tired. But anyway, when I tell y'all she did the absolute most, it was to the point where even Law Roach said something. Law Roach, even like, they was about to get in. I'm like, girl, you about to get into it with all the judges? Like, you keep getting into it with everybody. Like, she keep reading, and we understand that you were everything as far as the ballroom scene is concerned, but you're doing too much. Like, she did the absolute most, y'all. Now, if you've seen the episode, y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm so tired in my spirit. But yeah, I was so disgusted with her. I have never seen any episode of that show where I just was like, oh, I'm not here for this judge at all. Like, she really was doing the absolute most. But anyway, I'm sorry. But like I said, everybody showed up. It was an amazing moment. Y'all, I'm sorry. Getting choked up. But and then, like, after all that was going on, they were celebrating and all that, and she was happy that everybody came. The patient actually showed up, and she didn't really have any clothes or anything like that. She was like, I'm sorry, I didn't have anything better to wear. Well, Blanca told her, oh, that's all right, we got you. We got you. And so she basically introduced her to everybody, and she told certain people to go in the back and dust her up, meaning put some makeup on her, pull certain things from the rack for her to put on. Told this heifer, you finna work your first ball. Told her. She ain't asked her. She told her, oh, you finna walk. Welcome to the house of Evangelista. You finna walk in this ball. I was just like, I would have been like, ma'am, excuse me, what? What's going on here? Shoot, she probably didn't even know what was going on. She probably don't even understand what's going on. Like, what is the lingo? Like, what is we talking about? She got to learn the lingo first, honey. What is going on? So anyway, y'all, Blanca stayed until literally every single person that normally comes to that event left. She was there. She had her, trophy and or flowers or whatever it was that was in her hand. And so she finally got up off the stage. She was just sitting on the stage, just sitting on the ground on the stage. When she got down and started walking, it sounded like Pray Tell was like, what you still doing here? Or something like that. And so she turned around, and it was actually the guy who was cleaning up the building. He was like, I thought you were going to be here all night. He was like, no. She was like, no, I'm about to leave now. Y'all, Tell me why, as soon as she left out, she had a trophy, I think. So when she left out, there was a house that was outside. Apparently, they lose every single week. They've been losing like 3 weeks in a row. They can't never come through with none of the prizes. They can't never come through with nothing. Judges ain't here for them. So the mother of the house was talking to her, was like, hey, like, what can we do so that we can start winning stuff? Because I don't understand. So y'all, Pray Tell appeared, and anytime she faltered or couldn't think of certain words to say to them, he was feeding the words to her. Told them that they will triumph. All this other stuff. It was so much encouragement. So they might actually start winning, because it's like, girl, she's been there. They wasn't winning none either, but they were showing up. She was like, I wouldn't be where I was today if I gave up. I was just where you were. Like, girl, get your life together. So anyway, y'all, the Whitney Houston song started playing. That y'all know the song, your love is my love and my love is your love. It'll take an eternity to break us. Yeah, that song. I was like, yes, y'all better do that. But that's how the episode ended. She walked off and was walking home, I guess. I loved it. That was an amazing episode. I guess if you're going to end a show, that was the way to end it. So I'm happy. Y'all, please thumbs up this video and subscribe if you haven't. I'll see y'all down in the comment section.